Hey, y'all. This is Monay.
And this is Travis Miller.
And you're listening to another episode of the
Becoming One podcast.
So, y'all, how you doing? We just want to say, hey. We want to welcome you back. We want to say thank you for tuning in, especially to the first-time listeners. You didn't have to take time out of your day, out of your schedule to listen to this podcast at this very second, but you did, and we appreciate you for it. If you didn't know, you can find us on social media. Our business page is on Instagram at The Miller Initiative. You can also find us at The Miller Initiative on Facebook as well. If you want to share with us any stories, ask us any questions, suggest any topics that you want us to discuss on the podcast, you can email us at becomingonepodcast. That's becoming ONE podcast at gmail.com. You can also leave us a voice message in our DMs on Instagram, or if you happen to be streaming this on Anchor, you can leave us a voice message there as well. And as always, we appreciate the feedback, the dialogue. We want to connect with you. We want to talk. We want to share stories, and we want to have a good time. Did I miss anything?
No, but my eye is twitching.
Forgive the twitch. We're not really sure what's going on with that right now. It's just something weird going on. Anywho, if you were listening to our last episode, we had a conversation about childlike behavior, who society kind of anticipates or expects childish behavior from. And we kind of narrowed it down to the idea that pretty much both men and women have childish behavior, features that they kind of show or display from time to time. But for the most part, people kind of expect women to act a certain way, and they expect men to act a certain way. And so we actually have a topic that we want to talk about today surrounding another childlike behavior, which is jealousy.
Is jealousy a childlike behavior?
It is. And I say that because if you go back to when we were kids, I don't know how the guys were, but I can at least attest to this from the girls. Like, when you have a best friend, you don't want anybody else calling that person best friend. Like, this is my best friend. Like, it's a possessive thing. This is my best friend. You can't be best friends with anybody else. And if you want to hang out with your best friend and your best friend is hanging out with other people, suddenly it's just like, oh, what do you mean? You're hanging out with other people and you're not hanging out with me? Childlike behavior. These are things kids do. They get possessive, they get irritated, they get annoyed. They don't want anybody hanging out with their best friend.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. When you put it like that, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it is
you're
what
right.
it is.
I don't know what's going on with my eye, but it's like, waka, like twitching.
Maybe you need some water. That's what you always tell me.
I probably do. Shoot. But yeah, it's a childlike behavior, and we've kind of touched on it as far as like being able to have friends in marriage, and or we've talked about that a lot. I feel like in the past couple of weeks, but being able to have friends in marriage, being able to grow as an individual, being able to go out with your friends and just have fun still, not losing who you are, not losing yourself in marriage. It's all like a part of one big thing. You know what I mean? But I was listening to The Breakfast Club today, and that's where this topic came from. I was listening to The Breakfast Club. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on.
Keep going through it.
I don't know what is going on.
It's not my fault.
But I was listening to The Breakfast Club this morning, and they were talking about jealousy. And because I don't watch the show, but, you know, when something happens, it pops up. And Noriega or N-O-R-E, I guess is what you would just say, just Nori. When he's been a part of the Breakfast Club family, if you will, like they cool, DJ Envy and all them, they all cool. He's been up to the Breakfast Club. So N-O-R-E and his wife are on marriage boot camp, and the coach there, he's talking to Nori about jealousy, and well, let's just play it and then we can talk from there. Okay, let's do that.
Nori, what was your problem with the drill today?
I don't want any man to look at my wife. I don't want any man to...
What is jealousy about?
You know, even when he twirled my wife around, I was furious. And I know he didn't mean it.
Because what's the feeling? What's the fear?
I don't want to lose.
And so that fear comes from a place of?
Jealousy?
Comes from a place of being unsure in your position. True jealousy don't have nothing to do with Neri. She is never going to show up and disrespect you, ever. It's got everything to do with you and how you feel about yourself on the inside.
That's exactly what she told me one day.
Really?
She said, I will never, damn, you me up right now.
It's never going to happen.
I don't want to cry, Doc. Stop. This
Why?
is not
Why?
it.
This is about being vulnerable.
That's exactly what she told me.
That's not who she is.
And it was so me up right now. It was so soothing to me.
Right. Jealousy is about being insecure in your position as a man in her life, as the woman in his life, as the partner in their life. Here's the insulting thing about jealousy. It insults the character because you are questioning the commitment that they have to you. Look at this woman. You're insulting her character when you get jealous about what she might do outside of y'all's relationship. That's not who she is.
That's not who she is.
That's not who she's ever gonna be. She dimmed her light so she could fit into your life tonight. How is that fair to her? Stop making your insecurity her problem. It's not her problem.
Damn, Doc. I'm sorry. For a masculine man like me to be called insecure is probably a little worse than being called jealous, but you gotta accept that.
This is why we're here, because I want to hang out with my friends, and then he gets a little jealous if he's not around, that, you know, something's gonna happen. If he doesn't fix this issue, this could be a problem for us.
Wow.
Oh,
There's so
I
much.
might have to start watching just for that.
Yeah. Man. The way he broke it down, like, I mean, on the surface, usually you hear about people and having jealousy, like it comes across as, I just want to spend all of my time with you.
Right.
But to break it down to expose the true root behind his why.
Right.
And to even be able to say your why is actually projecting and saying this about your partner, when subconsciously he probably wasn't actually thinking that, but based on his behavior, that's what he was actually communicating. Like, I don't believe you are honest enough, faithful enough, da-da-da-da-da, because if I did believe these things, you being around whomever wouldn't even be an issue.
Well, that's not what the coach said, though.
No, that's not what he said. But I'm just saying, for you to believe these positive things about your partner, and to know these things about your partner, I feel like in that particular scenario, should he believe those things about her, like on a conscious level, then those things wouldn't be an issue. But he's saying it's not about her, it's about you.
Yeah, what has nothing to do with what he believes about her. It has everything to do with what he believes about himself.
That's deep.
So if you're hanging out with yada yada yada, and maybe they look like this, or they treat you a little bit better than this, or maybe they'll listen to you a little bit more than I am. Am I okay? Am I still safe? Am I still good in the position I am? You get what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with what he believes about her, but everything to do with what he believes about his own position in her life.
Because that's even going as far, like, on the subconscious level of believing, like, I'm not enough for this person. I'm not bringing enough to the table. I'm not stepping up to the plate. I'm not meeting these needs. I'm not XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever that is. And so to dive that deep, I mean, and it was, I don't know how long the episode was. I didn't actually watch the marriage boot camp episode, but to just even dive in so quickly into that clip, like, there was no buildup. They just, like, went head first. And so to just pull back the veil like that and kind of expose jealousy for what it actually is.
But I mean, even there was no, you know what I mean? Like, for that, you could just go in raw. There is no, they didn't need no foreplay for that.
There was no buildup.
In reality, jealousy is exactly what he said it was. It has nothing to do with the other person. Even you brought up the friendships, right?
They're going to like her better than me, which speaks to you lacking something, or you not being enough of something to think that your best friend could be taken away or stolen.
Well, it's a conversation that you're having with yourself about somebody else without them.
Right. You're assuming what they might think about you.
Right. So it has nothing to do with the other person, but it has everything to do with how you feel you fit into that other person's life. And what does that mean now that something else that you're not familiar with is introduced?
And that's kind of across the board, whether it's people who just feel this type of jealousy, saying like, oh, well, I don't like other women around my husband, or people who say, well, he spends too much time with his boys. It's all still the same root. It's all still this. There's something lacking in me to where this person wants to spend time with other people because I'm not enough.
Yeah, and again, this is generalized, but it doesn't fit every situation, because some of it is called for as far as your what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
It's like your apprehension, your pause to a situation. Some of that is called for because sometimes you're going to be able to see something that the other partner just don't see, right? So I wouldn't call that necessarily jealousy, but it could show the same way. But when we're talking about straight up jealousy of a person's friend or of somebody's lifestyle or whatever, it has everything to do with us as a person and not the other person.
I mean, even as far as like, and I haven't actually seen any of this in person, but you know, TV and movies and such. Like, and I'm speaking from the women's perspective. If a woman like approaches someone's significant other, and the lady is standing right there. So if a woman is with a man and some other lady or a chick, you know, pull up and try to say whatever, they get all like defensive and like, back up. Who are you? What do you want? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Because on the subconscious level, it's like this person is intimidating in the sense of they might bring something to the table, be prettier, be X, Y, or Z more than me.
Right.
And so you have to like kind of get your chest all swole up a little bit and like buck up, like what you finna do?
Yeah.
Because some people throw hands.
Yeah, but I think it was good for them to kind of point that out, because what ends up happening when we get married, like we start off not everybody starts off as friends, but I recommend starting off as friends first before you get into any type of relationship. But you start off as friends, y'all get close, y'all get closer. Maybe you go straight to boyfriend, girlfriend, you go exclusive, you get married, and somewhere along the lines, you stop being friends and you look at this other person. No, you're my husband.
Yeah.
No, you're my wife. You're supposed to fill this role and this role only. And somewhere along the line, you cut friend out.
Yeah.
So then marriage becomes more constricting than it is freeing. And what we strive for is to let everyone know that their marriage is supposed to be freeing.
Yeah.
Your marriage is supposed to be one of the most freeing things that you can take part in, because it allows you to blossom in a judgment-free zone. It allows you to become the person that you're looking for, the person that you want to become. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
But when we get into situations like this, oh, no, it's like you get real possessive. No, you can't go anywhere. No, you're mine.
I don't want nobody looking at you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what he said. And it's the truth, because when, not for me personally, but when like you see somebody and it's like, oh man, they were kind of looking at my wife kind of hard. Maybe I should do something about that. Or, you know, you just start to feel a certain type of way, some people. But in all reality, if you want somebody that looks fine, you're not going to be the only one that thinks they're fine. And if they're attractive to you in any type of way, they're going to be attractive to somebody else.
That's facts.
So at the end of the day, if you want whatever it is you're looking for, right? Like I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you like something, somebody else is guaranteed to like it.
Yeah. And sometimes people only like it because it's like, oh, unavailable. Ooh, what's going on over here?
Well, all I'm saying is if you like it, you're not going to be the only one. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for you to be jealous. So if you're with a person, you kind of have to settle in, you know what I mean? In order to actually be fully available, in order to actually fully be with that person. Otherwise you end up cutting off part of that relationship. Like, I don't like to talk about other people's marriages, but in this case, right? Simply in this case, she even said like this is going to be a problem if we can't fix this. So if we can't get this together, this is going to drive a wedge in our marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because whenever you feel constricted, whenever you feel like, man, there's not enough room for me to breathe here. I can't even move, right? Whenever you start to feel
trapped.
Exactly. You start to feel trapped. You're like, man, I got to get away. I have to run if I have to. Right. You know what I mean? And that's when that marriage starts to break down, because then you're just like, I associate being trapped with you. I need to run away from being trapped, and you are trapped.
So I need to remove
trapped
myself
is you.
from
You are trapped. you are my cage. Get away from me, man. You know what I'm saying? Get
That's
away
messed
from
up.
me, woman. So you get to a position where you're like, man, I can't be here.
Right.
I can't stay here.
Because I mean, even with trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna be patient. This is just who he is. This is who she is. But over time, like you said, it's like you can't breathe. Like with this particular situation, I guess there was a thing where she was dancing with another man or something. But to just be in proximity to another person doing something that's enjoyable, like I can't even have fun and enjoy myself in front of you because how I'm enjoying myself bothers you, which now is ruining my time. I can't even go out and have a good time with you because you're bothered of how I'm having a good time.
Right.
And nobody want to be around all that.
And of course, there's ways to be respectable with whatever you're doing. There's ways that you can have fun. There's ways that you can dance and enjoy yourself. Right?
Yes.
All of this is within means. You know what I'm saying? It's a new age now that I do recognize, and y'all do some stuff that I ain't trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all swinging out here. And I ain't talking about the playground. You heard me. Y'all swinging out here, and I know it. I know y'all swinging. I know y'all out here sharing each other and whatnot. Hey, that's your business. You gonna do what you gonna do. Like I said, I ain't finna yuck your yum. All I'm saying is not in my house.
We don't do that.
I am not a jealous man, but I do not share certain things, if you hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't swinging. I ain't going to no playground. But do you. I just,
it is so interesting to me, this whole idea of possession, like how people become jealous to the point of feeling like it's a possessive thing, because you mentioned earlier, like when people get married, sometimes they start to forget in their relationship that at some point they, depending on how your relationship started, you were friends, and it moves from friend to, lover to now this is my possession. This belongs to me. And even when people refer to each other as husband and wife, like, oh, this is my husband, this is my wife, it's a different level when that particular amount of jealousy is applied. Like it's more than just this is my wife. It's like this is mine. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I don't understand how, with that particular level of jealousy, like I don't know how people navigate and work through that, especially when people aren't recognizing it being an issue. They just think that, well, this is, you shouldn't be letting other men say or do or whatever. Like if I'm walking somewhere and I'm completely oblivious to what's going on and somebody look at my butt or whatever, Travis will probably notice before I do and then tell me and might laugh about it. I don't know. Or how old women be hitting on Travis every time he goes somewhere. Be talking about, don't play. You always be talking about how these older women be saying stuff to you.
Yeah, but you made it sound like it's like granny. Like, come
not
on
granny.
Here,
they older than me.
Come get
they
this,
older than me.
Come get this candy out of my pocket.
And
gotta reach down deep in there.
See, somebody must have said it to him, because you see how he said that, y'all.
That's funny.
But the point I'm making is, like, he's made it very clear, and there hasn't been an issue of it between us, but just across the board, he's made it clear when we talk about, having female friends and having male friends and all this other stuff, like nothing's going to happen that he does not want to happen. And so in my mind, I do not know this man to be a liar in any capacity in his life. And so for him to say nothing's going to happen that I don't want to happen, that immediately puts this whole idea of I need to be concerned about him out of my mind. Now, granted, everybody got issues. Everybody got things that tripped them up. I'm not oblivious to that. But this idea that we allow communication to be fluid enough to where if something is entering into this particular arena, we can at least have a conversation about it should the thing pop up or arise. So just this idea that...
But I feel like that's like the key, though. You know what I mean? That is the key. Not even I feel like, I'm saying that is the key. Mm-hmm. Like in all these relationships, the key is communicating about it. Mm-hmm. Being able to express what is inside of you. Or
in addition to that, even if you don't have the words, like I'm learning more and more to just say the feeling, even if I don't have the words to express it. We had a conversation earlier. I was having a feeling about something, and Travis was like calling me out on it, if you will. And I don't necessarily like to present things to people when I don't have the words to explain them. But I take a little bit longer than he does with that. He'll be like, you know what? I don't have words right now. We can circle back to this. Me, on the other hand, I'll be like, let me see if I can figure out how to say this. And I'll take a long time just feeling it deep down on the inside. I don't share it. I'm working on it, though. It's progress. But the point is, at least being able to have the space and the capacity to say, I don't know how to word what it is that's going on with me, but there's something going on. So you're at least putting it out there and putting it on the table.
Right. And now from a word from our sponsors. Tell them about the book, about the reset.
The book? What book? Oh, so if you do not know, Travis and I wrote an ebook. It's an e-workbook, actually. It's called The 3 Steps to Transforming Your Relationship. And what it does is it allows and what it does is it allows you and your partner to get on the same page. You can talk about what your values are. You can figure out why your values are what they are. And then you can create a vision board. You can create a plan. You can create a path with steps to figure out where you're at and where you're going, not just individually, but as a couple. So you can get on the same page, figuring out where you're going in your relationship, what the different anchors are, and how you're going to get there.
Right. And when you're able to communicate on this level, there's so much more than just tell you where you're going and where you're at, yada, yada, yada. But it tells you a lot about the other person that you're with. The more that you realize, the more that you understand about the person that you're with, the more you'll be able to get comfortable in their presence. Like a lot of us, we're married, but we're not comfortably married. Like we're kind of walking on these like eggshells, if you will. We're not free in our relationship. The more you learn about this person, the more you allow your relationship to be free and flourishing. You want to feel as though you are free to build, you're free to become, you're free to be who you are called to be. And that doesn't happen without communication. So being able to communicate how you feel, being able to communicate how you think in a way that your partner is able to understand it is everything. If you can learn how to communicate, simply how to communicate, you can alleviate 70 to 80% of all of your problems.
And even if you're not quote unquote good at it, it's like a muscle. The more you exercise, the more you practice, and the more you put forth effort into trying to communicate, it just improves. It gets better and better. I mean, it's not, I don't understand how somebody could how two people could try to effectively work on their communication and then not improve over time. Especially because when you're married to somebody, you're learning this person for life. You will never stop learning it because they'll never stop growing. They'll never stop developing and changing and all these other things. And so when you take this time to study, like go to the school of insert your partner's name and you get to know them, you can allow each other to be a mirror. So you see things that they don't see. They see things that you don't see. And without being defensive, allow them to speak into what they see, allow them to identify the things that you're missing, and just be able to have that vulnerable trust to where it's like, you know what? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't see what you're saying, but hey, if I don't see it and you can, I'm going to trust that, you want what's best for me. So I'm just going to listen to what you're saying because I don't see it.
Yeah. Before we get up out of here, I got one more for you. I don't think I shared this one with you earlier.
Okay.
But I wanted to see what you think about it.
All right.
Because I feel like this is like really relatable to our specific situation. So I just want to know what you got to say.
Oh, goodness.
You going to play it for me? 1 second, y'all.
Y'all know how technology is. It don't like you sometimes.
Sure don't.
Then when it do, it be doing the most. It's like, I don't need the volume that high. I don't need the lights that bright. But you know what, though? It's all good. Mm-hmm.
And
I think we fixed it.
Here we go.
Okay, I can hear it now.
What's going on out there? This your boy Nore, man. You might know me from Platinum Records. You might know me for bringing, reggaeton to America. You might know me for seeing me in movies. You might know me for taking over the podcast.
It's a gift from my Father from heaven.
and we here to fix our little petty issues. Most of the pettiness comes from me, but that don't matter. We gonna fix it all.
Nori's very old school. He's like, the girl does everything. So I want him to help with the kids, help me out in the house, communicate better.
What we have is great, but we want it to be greater. I know that's not a word, but roll with me. Always wants me to help out and help out with the boys. And I kind of got this feeling of like, you know what? I take care of the bills, so, I feel like the bills is just enough.
Do you ever worry about how that strong personality reflects on the woman that you love?
I'm used to being in power. That's one of the reasons why I'm here.
So if he's not number one, if it's not him and him and him, it's a problem.
But I do know I live in 2021, so I know I gotta change, and I'm willing to do it.
We do have problems, and we're not perfect. I think he could work on not having to feel like he needs to be in control all the time, but he's a good dad.
Classes on how to be like Noriega. Look how much he loves his wife. Look how much he cherishes his wife. Look how much.
Okay, I kind of fast forwarded through that just because he was like, all right, we get the point. So basically what he had like this ego trip.
He has a complex.
He has a complex, right? And here, well, you want to go first? You want me to go? You go.
Now, I just want to point out just a little background. I was a working mom turned stay-at-home mom. So it's been, and I was literally thinking about this earlier. So I've been out of the 9-to-5 game for 3 years now. And so the reality of me not bringing home a paycheck took a while to set in, okay? And when a man is providing financially, that is not enough, because if the only thing that I did was cook, clean, and take care of the kids, and I provided no additional anything, money isn't always the main factor that keeps a household running. Now, it is very important because you need a roof over your head and food to eat. But that's not including any type of emotional support. That's not including any extra stuff that I would be doing. Like, I'm literally, I run the operations of the household. So I'm looking at, what do they call it? Inventory. All right, let me check the cabinets before I go to the grocery store. Let me see what the kids' seasonal clothes looks like. Let me make sure this person got this and this person got that. Like, I can just not do any of that if all I'm doing is cooking food, cleaning the house, and making sure the kids are dressed. Because from the way he said it, if all he's doing is his bringing home the money, which to him sounds like that's the least I could do. That's literally all he's doing. So if all I did was cook, clean, and make sure the kids was alive, that wouldn't be enough to sustain a healthy household or a healthy relationship or family, in my opinion. So I don't know why he tooting his own horn. Like, as the husband, they're married, right? As the husband, if you're the one who brings in the bulk of the money, and I don't know if she working or not, but I'm not saying what he does doesn't matter, but that's what you're supposed to do. Like, even if you weren't making the bulk of the money as the man, like, you're the one who's supposed to provide the covering for the house anyway. So that's not something to necessarily boast in. Like, that's like when people be trying to flex, like, my kids is taken care of. You had them. Yes, they should be taken care of. So when you are, as a man, enter into a covenant with the woman and you have this family, like, you're supposed to cover them and make sure they're good. That's not a flex. That's not something we're supposed to surround you and clap about.
I'm going to disagree and agree with you.
I'm listening.
Because I first of all, I do think that's something to surround him and clap about. Mm-hmm. Number one, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you should be celebrated.
Okay.
Regardless.
Go on.
When you cook,
mm-hmm.
Should the kids not say thank you?
Should they say thank you? Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
You should
multiple times.
You should be celebrated for
doing it. But is a thank you a celebration?
Yeah, it is. You should be celebrated for doing what you're supposed to do.
Now, maybe that's where we're different, because I don't see a thank you as a means of celebration.
I think that's a personal thing, though.
Okay.
So that's how you see it. But a thank you to somebody is a celebration of what you have done.
And I see it as just an acknowledgement. But I understand there's a difference there.
Right. That's how you see it.
Okay.
So it's a thank you. Again, I'm going to say when your kids or whoever is thanking you, they are celebrating what you have done.
Okay.
Anybody who is doing what they're supposed to do should be celebrated. You deserve a round of applause. You deserve an award or whatever, Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever, whoever. if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you should be celebrated. That's one. I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
That's fine.
Two, I understand what he's saying, but this is one of the main issues that couples run into as far as money and communication goes. Is he believes that by working, I'm doing my part. By working,
like it omits him from having to do any extra outside of his responsibilities.
So they, as a couple, got married, and I'm not sure what she does. I'm sure she does something. Like I said, I don't follow these people. I don't follow Nori that close, but as a couple, they have decided their lifestyle, and he has done very well for himself. So to be able to do that deserves another round of applause, because I know that man works hard. So I celebrate him. Nori, I celebrate you and what you're doing. I think you deserve it. Where I think you effed up is for any man to believe that if I just go home and bring home my check, that's good enough. Because this is a collaboration. Right. I can't, like, for instance, in our relationship, I work, you're at home with the kids. If I were to say, when I get home, you know what I mean, I expect the red carpet, the dinner, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Fam, there's still stuff to do here, right? We have decided together on the lifestyle that we're going to live, which means in everything we are splitting. We are splitting everything. So we're both working on... Minus
the whole paycheck situation.
What are you talking about?
You said splitting everything. That would mean I'm bringing in half of the income, which I'm not right now at the moment.
The Lord is still working on her mind, y'all.
I'm just saying.
She hasn't caught the revelation yet. But listen, we are splitting everything. So you are making half of the money, because I wouldn't be able to make what I make unless things were done here. So you're making half of the money. Everything is being split. You wouldn't be able to take care of the kids if I wasn't doing what I was doing.
Because listen.
Okay, so everything is being split. During the day, we go our separate ways in order to handle everything. At the end of the day, we come back together and handle it together. So once I walk in the door, it's no longer one parent handling everything, it's two. There's no, well, everybody needs a break. Cool. You go upstairs, you get your 15, you get to 30, yada, yada, yada. But if you disappear for the rest of the day because you think you've done enough during the day.
And that's a whole nother conversation.
Both sides.
Topic.
Both sides. Some men believe that, or whoever I'll say the breadwinner. The breadwinner believes that when I walk in the door, I shouldn't have to worry about nothing.
Because I've been at work all day. And then the person who's been at home.
The caregiver says, oh, I've been at home all day with the kids and they've been getting on my nerves. Now you're here, take them.
Divide and conquer.
This is a team effort. And the moment you allow that type of mindset to set in your marriage is the very moment that you allow a wedge to be driven between you two.
And we've had conversations like that before. And I think with that, like having the conversation and discussing that particular feeling, no matter what way it comes out, whether, you're in a good mood or not, it gives you the opportunity to truly reflect on where your heart is in the moment. And sometimes it's not in the most thoughtful place, but even being able to have that dialogue and conversation, it allows you to kind of reset, if you will, which is definitely an awesome thing. Anytime you're able to reset and get back together on the same page is good.
Yeah, our minds have to always, if we're going to do this marriage right, if we're going to last in this marriage, and not just us, but you two, if you're going to last in your relationships, you have to have the mindset of we. It's no longer I, or I make this much money, or I'm doing this, you are doing this. This is what we are doing. This is what we are accomplishing. This is the direction that we are going in. This is what we have on our plate to accomplish or do or to adjust to, yada, yada, yada. We're thinking about buying a new house. We have to tackle that. It ain't up to just me to come up with the down payment. We're coming up with the down payment. What do we have to do that?
Right. And I think just even the whole concept of what do we have to do, because, when people don't work, well, I don't have any money. Okay, well, how are you supporting the person who is actually going and getting a paycheck? Like, how are you making that transition of going off to work in the morning or coming home? How are you making that easier? How are you able to maneuver and shift and move things around so that you all are able to creatively think and brainstorm on how you can get this money so you can get this house?
Or if we just focus on the money, like, are you frivolously using the money?
Spending or just budgeting? What are you
Right?
doing?
Are we working together to use this money to grow, or are we just kind of putting it there and then, oh, you don't work, or I do work, and we're just kind of, oh, this is mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to blow what I got.
Right.
Right? Are we working together? Because after that money goes into the bank account, it's ours. So what are we doing with that?
Right.
And if we are truly connected, if we're in covenant, if we're in a relationship, if we're married, your decisions are my decisions.
That's facts.
So if you messing up, right? There's the story of the talents in the Bible. If you messing up our talents, if you misproperly using the funds,
Misappropriating funds.
if you're misappropriating the funds that are allotted to this home, right? Now our growth is not at the level that it should be. Our multiplication
stealing.
of our talents, our multiplication of whatever we have, our growth of what is allowed to come this way is hindered.
Mm-hmm.
The man with the talents that he just hid or he misproperly used, it was taken away from him. The same way that if you're not paying attention to your money, if you're not paying attention to the things that come into your house, if you're misusing these things, they will leave you. If you don't tell, tidbit, if you don't tell your money where to go, your money will leave you automatically. It will go where it's being told to go. Whoever's calling that money is going to get that money. Those commercials that you always see, it's calling your money.
It's my money and I want it now.
Huh? While you sitting around them car lots, the Burger King, the fast food places, the grocery stores, the malls, all these places are calling your money. And if you're not telling your money where to go, guess who's taking it? Everybody who's calling it. Back to what I'm talking about. If y'all ain't working together, y'all destroying each other. Y'all are melting down. If you're not building, if you're not growing together, you're growing apart. Flat out. It's as simple as that. You're either living, you're creating more life, or you're dying. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. So, again, I believe that Nori should be saluted. Man, he has built a wonderful life. He has done a good job. I salute him. I celebrate him for everything that he's done. But, again, you can't just say that I will bring in the bread and leave the rest. Fathers, it's not enough to make the money. You have to be a part of your children's life. They need your influence more than they need your funds.
And I also want to add, because this is another way jealousy could like weave its way all up in there. Like, oh, you get a break, you get the rest, I don't. And you're just jealous or mad or upset because how this other person is able to get a break, if you will, and you don't. But, well, oh man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, never mind. It was a good point too, but I don't remember what it was. Oh man, y'all, it was a good point. It was about the guy and the girl.
We're talking about Nori. He was bringing in money. He wasn't a part of it. His wife was telling him to be a part of his kid's life.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe it wasn't for me to share.
That's a glimpse into my life, people.
I have squirrel moments a lot, and then I have like mommy brain moments. It hasn't been right since the children. But anywho, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of cheer. Hopefully you appreciated the episode. And again, any questions, comments, you want to let us know what you want us to talk about on the next few episodes, chime in. This is Monay.
And this is Travis Miller.
And you just listened to another episode of the
Becoming One podcast.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Be easy.